Good evening. This is Basement Politics. I am Freddie Vasquez. Tonight, let's discuss the mayor's interview from earlier today. What does he have to say about the state of the city? Join me. Good evening, folks. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Coming on for a special update episode. Interview with the mayor. What did the mayor have to say earlier today on the YB? Mayor, you owe me an interview. Owe me an interview, Mayor. I really didn't push it. Just saying anytime. Yeah. Good evening, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. How you doing? How you doing? Well, I wasn't going to come on today. Initially, I was going to wait till tomorrow to do the next episode. But earlier today, I saw an interview that the mayor did on YV, and he discussed everything from affordable housing to education to the contracts with the police department. And he also discussed the fourth term. That's the $1 million question. Is Mayor Mike Spano running for a fourth term? Well, you know how I feel. I believe he is 1,000%. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And after seeing this interview, I believe it even more. I mean, just got to listen. He spoke with YV earlier today, and they started off by saying, fourth term, are you going to run again? That was the question. And, obviously the interviewer wants him to run. He was basically, in trying to convince him and encouraging him. And the mayor, it's almost like deja vu. The mayor says, no, he's not going to run. He doesn't think so. But, if anyone, remembers last election, he wasn't going to run initially then also, but he felt that that's what the people wanted. And so again, you'll hear in this interview, he's saying no, saying it's time to move on, but then it's really ultimately, what is it that the people want? And that's what he'll do. So let's start off here at the beginning of this interview. I don't know if it's at the beginning, I just caught.
Mayor, we have about 1 year. Let's talk about what you've done and what you're looking to do to accomplish.
We've done a lot of great things over the last couple, right? When I got here, we had a 72% graduation rate. We now have a better than 90% graduation rate. We've invested almost $400 million in our
Mayor,
schools.
keep on. Let me
Sure.
just pick something up. You're not looking at me.
We invest
Technical difficulties there, but he talks about the graduation rate, right? And he's saying that, since he's been mayor, the graduation rate has gone up to 91%, and that officials over in Rochester were impressed by that and were asking the mayor, how did he manage to do that? And you'll hear what the mayor has to say. Let's get back to the interview.
imagined our police department in a way that has been truly successful in terms of reducing the crime rate and reducing complaints against our officers. We have been able to bring in deep pocket developers to help revitalize the waterfront. Developers that frankly 10 years ago would not have been in Yonkers. And now, Avalon Bay, Extel, RXR, they're all here.
AMS.
Have developments in the ground, and they're working within the city. We have built an enormous amount of market rate housing, but we've also built an enormous amount of affordable housing because we want to make sure that when the tide goes up in the harbor, all the boats go up with it. We have rebuilt our municipal housing stock, each and every last unit, because of the same theory. that we're going to invest and improve our neighborhoods. We want to make sure that we invest and improve all of our neighborhoods. So,
All right, so I'm gonna stop there. So he talks about the affordable housing, and he says that municipal housing, Macy, has renovated all of their housing stock, but the fact is that the ones that were renovated or done over were primarily limited to the southwest side. You had Cottage Gardens that was done over, the chicken coops. I don't know the official name. We used to call them the chicken coop over there in Lamartine and Warburton. 160 Warburton was also, renovated. And then they did build some new affordable housing or low income housing. And as you'll hear here in a little bit, he says that in 10 years, there have been 1,900 affordable housing units added. Only 1,900 in 10 years. That's not a lot considering the crisis that we are in with affordable housing. He also says that he brought in deep pocket developers and investors, and he did. But I don't know how much of that money is actually theirs. A lot of money came down from the federal government to do a lot of this development. And some even saying, are they using, some of this funding that's supposed to be for affordable housing for market rate development, right? So yeah, he did bring a lot of money in here. I mean, he talked about Xtel. That was one of the developers he named. They broke ground on a project going up along the water, which will cost $500 million. It will consist of 7 buildings, 7 buildings, market rate, except for those that will be affordable, the 10% that he speaks about here, and you'll hear, which is really not a lot. It's really not a lot. There are a lot more luxury market rate developments and apartments going out versus affordable. I'm not even talking about low income. That's different than affordable. Affordable housing. The majority of people cannot afford these luxury market rate apartments. I mean, we're talking about 500 to 700 square feet apartments for $2,700. That's crazy. That's crazy. And so, I've often said that. Why is it, if we have a housing crisis, that there are so many luxury market rate apartments being developed versus affordable housing? And really, a lot of the municipal housing work that was done recently was simply to renovate the existing housing stock. So they didn't really necessarily add new low income housing, not, anything significant anyway. And it's true. Nothing is affordable in Yonkers. Absolutely right. Go on.
well, I'm very proud of what we've accomplished so far, and I'm also proud of the fact that a new administration has a lot of work to do and a lot to
Listen,
finish.
Now, Mayor, for sake of arguments in conversation, let's say we get an election coming up or voting coming up, and the majority of the people of Yonkers say, no, Mayor, it's not time for you to go. You might think it's time for you to go, but by popular demand, we insist that you stay in Yonkers as the mayor to finish the things that need to be finished, because Yonkers has lots to go. Okay, you have moved Yonkers forward, we appreciate, but there is always room for more improvement and for better things. We want you to finish those things. What would you say if there is a popular demand? You must stay, Mayor Spanner.
Well, I'm not sure how that would arrive though. The only way you can I would be able to run for a fourth term would be to repeal the term limits law, right? So to
How you feel
like
about it?
like we did 3 years ago, and I had all intentions of not running for re-election 3 years ago, and
But here you
when we
are.
got to the end, yeah, I bought into it. I thought it was. It turned out to be the right thing. I think for me personally, I think it turned out to be the right thing for the city. But I also think that now it's also the right thing for me to move on and for there to be a new mayor. It's a wonderful job. Don't get me wrong. It is probably the most satisfying positions you could ever hold, is being mayor of the community you were born and raised in. but it's also all-consuming, completely unnatural lifestyle, and and it's and there's a lot of needs that the city has, and there's a lot that needs to be accomplished, and I just think that it's probably the time. It's a good time for them.
But Mayor, you are
I was up right there. So, something similar was said last time before Mayor Spano ran for a third term. I've also been hearing from sources that the mayor, like he said, he was roped in last time. He didn't really want to run. I was told the same thing. He kind of got, pushed into doing it, so he ran. But this time he's tired. He's exhausted. As he says, it's all consuming, right? And so here he'll have believing that he's probably not going to run. He did open up an account and a committee for county executive, although many people are saying that he's not going to win outside of Westchester. That's what some people are saying, that he may not win outside of Westchester. Ken Jenkins is expected to run for county executive, and he's very popular, and people will be voting for him. So they're saying that this is just a ploy, and he's actually going to look into the fourth term. I also heard from insiders that they're going to put it to the people. So as you hear them talking, and this is all a setup with YV guy, Crocodile Dundee over here, right? Because he says, well, what if the people, want you to run again? If the people demand that you run again? And so, he's saying, well, if the people want to, we'll have to see. But he's really, pretty much at this point, he thinks he's not going to run again. But from what I'm hearing on insiders is that that's what they're going to do. They're going to look to see what the people want to do. Or they're going to put it possibly on the ballot so folks can vote for it. But I believe that maybe, but it's not really popular like Mr. YV is saying. For the most part, from what I'm hearing from people, they don't want a fourth term. They don't want a fourth term. I have heard some people say they're for it, but it's individuals who are very close to the mayor, have a good relationship with the mayor. And, there are many reasons why they would want him to run again. But for the average voter, I'm hearing they want, time to move on. They don't want to, see another fourth term. But Mr. YV seems to give the impression that people are wanting, fourth term. But I think if, if people don't want it, I think they're going to put it onto the council. I think that ultimately the decision is going to come down again to the Yonkers City Council, and they're going to, eliminate terms, right? And just yesterday, when I was at the retirement ceremony for the chairman of the ZBA, the Zoning Board of Appeals, Mike Breen, Republican Mike Breen, made a comment to the effect that, the zoning board chairman, who had been there for 53 years and did a great job, was a perfect example of why we don't need term limits. That's basically what he said, right? So again, a lot of insiders are talking, we need to do away with term limits. We want to see the mayor run again. But and from what I'm hearing, at least in my experience, the average voter here in the city of Yonkers is ready to move to someone new. They said, Mike Spano did a great job, but it's time, that we see someone different. Facts. That doesn't make sense. People don't even make $50,000 a year. That's true. I mean, the average person in the city of Yonkers, and this was just recently put out, actually even by the mayor, makes $35,000 a year. The average person. The average household, combined household, is $68,000 a year. Now, the combined household is about, it's half, not even half of what the average salary is for a Yonkers police officer at $142,000 a year. So the average household still doesn't make as much as the average police officer. I mean, by more than half. You know what I mean? So that's a statistic that it's interesting, and we have to think about that. Right? Think about that. They're bringing luxury market rate apartments all over the water. The average person in Yonkers makes $35,000 a year. The average city employee, especially ones with the connections, makes at least $100,000 a year. But the average city resident makes $35,000. You have to think about that, because that right there says a lot. That says a lot right there and can tell you a lot. The pilots are costing the taxpayer money. Yes. And for those who don't know what pilots are payment in lieu of taxes. Basically, developers are being given tax breaks. They make agreements to pay a set amount each year. Sometimes the terms can be anywhere from 10 to 30 years even. And they set a set amount. Let's say, they agree to pay $20 million. And while that seems like a lot, their actual tax liability, may be $40 million, right? So the city, from these developers who have received pilots, are not getting their full, share, or they're not collecting the full amount of taxes that they should be from these developers. So that's hurting the city, because the city is not bringing in the revenue that it's supposed to be generating. And so what happens? Then there's no money for schools. You can't build the second school and the third school and do all the renovations that the schools need because there's not enough money. But we're always sold on these ideas that are supposed to be bringing in a lot of money, right? Like the casino. Yes, we were getting $20 million, $19 million a year from Empire City Casino since, I believe, 2000, I want to say 6 or something like that, maybe 9. And it's 2021, and we've only managed to be able to fund one of the 3 schools that need to be built. That school that's being built on McLean is going to cost about $100 million once it's done. That's way over budget. You can build 2. If they came to me, I can get deals done where we can build 2 of those schools for $80 million or $100 million. And the company that's building the school has never had a project that big. That's the biggest project they've ever worked on. However, they have built the school before, but it only cost $22 million. However, today, they're going to go up to about $100 million. The budget was $80 million, but they've already, voted on more money because they've already come to the conclusion that they need more money, right? So where's the money going? Where's the money going? But anyway, going back to Mayor Mike Spano, yeah, I believe he's going to run again. They're saying they're going to put it to the people to vote. I don't think that's going to happen. The only way that's going to get done is if the city council go ahead and vote to eliminate terms. And they're saying eliminate terms, right? Because extending terms and saying, hey, we want to extend it, right, another time, that really seems a little selfish. That seems like he's doing that just for himself. But if you eliminate terms, then they can sell it to the people that, this would be great for other future mayors and elected officials to come. So, they can, if they're good, they can stay there, do what they need to do. And you hear the repeated theme. Still got much to accomplish. Still got much to finish. We started and we're doing great, but we have to finish. We have to finish. And who wants to finish it? Well, the finisher, Mayor Mike Spano. He wants to see it through, right? So this is setting it up for the 4th term, folks. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. Definitely setting it up for the 4th term. Of course, he would say that. He knows he will get a 4th term too. Well, the council is definitely going to do it. They're definitely going to do it. And again, whether Mike Spano runs again or not, I'm just putting the information out there. My opinion is this. I mean, you have Mike Cater, who I believe is going to run again. I supposedly had told the Yonkers Voice that he was going to be on the ballot. And then it's interesting how the next day the Yonkers Tribune had a negative article about Mike Cater. But if Mike Cater's in there, Mike Spano, right? That's going to be, there you go. But if you have Mike Spano, Mayor Mike Spano, and then you have the usual suspects, the Chuck Lesnicks, the Corazon Pinedas. I heard Wilson Terrell was going to run. Now I'm hearing he's not going to run. Wilson Kimball, I heard, is going to run. But now I'm hearing that she's told insiders she's not going to run. And I'll talk about her in a little bit coming up here, right? But if it's them, Mike Spano all day. Mike Spano all day, because I might as well, might as well. He's this started. Might as well let him finish. We don't want to see any of them, folks, right? And so we have to see, is Mike Cater going to run? Or is somebody else going to pop up in the mayor's race? Someone that we have not seen before. Someone that may be the person that we need to be voting for. So we'll see. It's getting excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. They are pushing the city's poor out of Yonkers. Absolutely, 1,000%. I went down to my old neighborhood a couple of days ago, and I started talking to some of my Latinos, right? And I was talking to them in Spanish, some of the folks that speak Spanish mainly, and I told them about the possibility of a Whole Foods replacing the ShopRite, and that just became the talk of the bodega on Riverdale. And so a guy that I told started telling everyone, and everyone started talking about it, and the consensus was they can't do that. We rely on that ShopRite. Where are we going to go? To Tuckahoe? Some people can't make it out there. They're elderly. They don't have transportation. And it's just more costly to do so. Right? So the ShopRite is very convenient. The guy that actually I told, he goes, well, the bodega guys are going to be happy because no one's going to go to Whole Foods that lives there now. So they will go more to the bodegas where you'd be lucky if you find anything healthy to drink in these bodegas. Have you guys ever noticed that? There's more refrigerators of beer than there is of anything else. And then they have all those cheap juices that cost $1. Like nothing healthy in these bodegas. Nothing. I am running. All right, Jose Diaz. One more term means he has more opportunities to piss someone off, just like Cuomo. Cuomo would have been the next president, but his arrogance took him down, and his brother. So you're saying that if he runs again, he stands the chance of, putting himself out there, possibly, getting into something, increasing the probability of something, happening in terms of the law. I'm trying to understand that. But we already had a Whole Food. They had one on Main Street, and then they got rid of that due to the lack of people not going. Right. Because the people at the time, which are the people I'm talking about that are not going to go, I say the people at that time that were there were mostly the people that are still there now. However, it's changed a lot. So there are a lot more people now that would like to see a Whole Foods there. Again, like a man said to me who was walking by and overheard my conversation, that having a Whole Foods there, hearing that was music to his ears, right? So there's people that want it. There's a lot more people there that want it. You got those that just are into the health stuff. Then you got the bougie people that want to say, hey, I shop at Whole Foods. You ever met those people? Like, so what? Whole Foods, they can't even get damn Tylenol in there. They're pushing them out. Absolutely. Absolutely. And not only by bringing in a Whole Foods, but by building a massive luxury market rate tower up there on the dead smack in the middle. That says wealth, affluence. That doesn't say, hardworking, blue collar, low income, government assistance, which is what a lot of the people in that area, fall into. Right. But there are a lot of people that wake up every day to go to work. I know I live in the area for many, many years, and people do get up and go to work. Not everyone is just lazy or not doing anything like some people like to assume, but they just don't make enough to afford those luxury market rate apartments. I mean, they're kind of nice. And maybe if they were at least 1,000 square feet, but they're giving you 500 to 700 square feet for $2,700 to $3,000 in this little box, like a prison. It's like a luxury prison. Can you wear flip-flops at Whole Foods? I'm not sure. I don't shop there. I don't know. But you definitely have to have your shirt on. The system is broken. Whole Foods is very expensive. Food stamps will not stretch far for a family. It's sad that that's how the United States is set up. I don't even know if they would go to Whole Foods, because the products that they sell there are not anything that are recognizable. I mean, even to me, like, I don't shop at Whole Foods. I go to ShopRite myself. I go to the one on Central Avenue over here by the Red Lobster, So I don't go. So you won't see me there, but that's where we get our groceries for. Whoever's trying to sneak up on me, right? But yeah, so I mean, I like ShopRite. I've always gone there all my life. Whole Foods, I went in one time looking for aspirin, Tylenol, and they told me they didn't have that there. Like, they had some other stuff, and I just never went back. So they're not even going to recognize the products that are in there, the folks. So they're going to have to now pay for an Uber, pay for a cab, or go to the bodega where the food is expensive and outdated many times. Trust me, I bought a can of tuna fish one time from the bodega, so never again will I buy anything food there in a bodega. And I used to buy all the time. I used to get the wedges, even a one pork chop for $1, go fry it up. Man, those are the days we were struggling. We need a committee to eliminate the Spano crime family. Yeah. Well, isn't that what Liam McLaughlin, do we have Inspector General to tackle any form of corruption anywhere in the city of Yonkers, right? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? I wonder who owns those buildings. Yeah, rich guys. Most likely Jewish developers. A lot of money pouring in from Israel. A lot of Chinese developers. I mean, America is like, it's been sold off. It's been sold off. It's been sold off. A rotisserie chicken is $4.99 on selling ShopRite. $14.99 at Whole Foods. Dang, that's a huge difference. $10 difference. What's the difference in the rotisserie? It's a free-for-all. Absolutely. It's definitely a free-for-all. See, what folks have to understand is that a lot of this development stuff is not just, hey, we just decided to start developing now. No, this has been planned for at least 20 years. All right. So we can go back to, and this is why it's so important. I know I may bore you guys with information, but it's so important to go and read and do learn history. George Bush, the first George Bush, wrote a bill or wrote whatever that had to do with sustainable energy. However, it wasn't passed until Bill Clinton, signed it into law, the sustainable energy. They were going to move into this whole green cities and all that. And so then now it's finally started to come to fruition. So the money now was starting to be put in these bills, and the developers all know this, right? Because they have friends in politics, they have friends in Washington, they have congressman friends, they have senator friends, so they know what's coming down the pipeline. So they prepare. It's insider trading. And so they go and they rush in and they get all the money. It's like with the PPP loans, right? A small business owner like me, I had no real chance. By the time I was starting to figure out, a lot of the money was running out, but these big companies gobbled a lot of it up. Just like with FEMA money, whenever there's a disaster, there's people that gobble it up. And I happen to know of a local politician who was helping people skip the line during Hurricane Ida, putting their applications, up to the top for the relief money, for FEMA money, when people's insurance weren't paying. So it's all a hustle. And we're the ones that fund this hustle, the taxpayers, because when Congress puts out a bill that's going to allocate, X amount of billions of dollars, that's taxpayer money. Well, actually, they don't even have it. They're not even liquid for that. So they actually have to go to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, we need now $2 billion for this stimulus package that we're going to, issue. And so they borrow the money from the Fed with interest. Then they send it out to everybody. Everybody's all happy because they got their little $400 or $500 check. They spend that like it's nothing, in the same day they get it, right? Nobody really saves. And I get it. People are backed up too, right? And then now we owe billions of dollars, right, with interest. And that's why this country is going to hell in a handbasket, because people just are not really understanding the information and knowing what's what and making decisions on elected officials without truly being informed. How do you think Majority Leader Tasha Diaz got elected? How is that somebody like Shanae Williams got elected and reelected? I mean, do you not see her performance at meetings? It's embarrassing. Like, you always forget everything. You come late all the time. You guys are wearing flip-flops and don't even have manicures or pedicures. No lotion. Standing out, looking, as many people say, guys, I'm just going to be honest. They say to me, you guys look ghetto. And that's not cool because you guys represent us. It makes me mad. That's right. Phil Lamacone. That's right. Phil Lamacone is very involved. He was one of the main planning guys of this whole development that you see going on here in the city of Yonkers. So they already had this whole place divided up long before we saw any council person with a shovel digging into the dirt with flip-flops and a hard hat. The most important thing to get out is to get out and vote in November and every year. We must make our voices heard 1,000%, because next year is the year. 2023 is the year for the city residents to truly take back Yonkers. Why? Because you have District 1 up. That's Shanae Williams. See you later, Missy. All right? See you later. All right? We have District 3 up. That's the majority leader, right? She's got to go. She is the reason why there are not more affordable housing units in those luxury market rate apartments. She kept it from being increased from 10% where it's at now to 20%. And she gave a bumbling, confusing excuse and reason why. Okay. And then you have District 5, which is Mike Breen. Again, he's supposed to be termed out, but who knows? And then you have the mayor's seat. So it's an important year, 2023. So you need to come out and vote. We need to see at least 50 to 60,000 people out here voting. And it's important. It doesn't matter if you live in District 5. It's important who gets into District 1. It doesn't matter if you live in District 5. It's important who gets into District 1. I'm sorry. If you don't matter if you live in District 1, it's important who gets into District 5 and every other district, because at the end of the day, they impact us all in the decisions that they make. For example, Tasha Diaz, who represents District 3. Well, she impacts everyone who is in need of affordable housing when she flip-flopped, right? And I don't mean the shoes she chooses to wear, when she flip-flopped on the affordable housing vote that night. She could have, shown the city of Yonkers that the Yonkers City Council is a strong council and that they are going to represent the people to the fullest. But they didn't. They let us all down. And Shanae Williams, as much as she says that was her baby, she let the baby just die. She threw it out with the bathwater and has not done anything about it since. And her district is being heavily gentrified. Woodworth, Warburton, Ravine will be heavily gentrified. Layla Gorin, which they bring up here in a minute, will turn Trevor Park and JFK Marina into a luxury, affluent area with a performing, sound stage where she had an idea of bringing Coldplay to perform there on a floating stage that they want to put into the power plant. Now, who the hell that lives on Woodworth and Ravine and Warburton are dying to see Coldplay? And I'm not saying that there's no one there that likes Coldplay or maybe one of their songs, but they're not looking forward to a Coldplay concert at Trevor Park. All right. So that shows you exactly what is going on. Layla Gorin knows what she's doing. She's holding on to that property. In fact, she has been partners and done business with Xtel, who bought up all the property just a few hundred yards away from the power plant. So what are they planning to do there with that entire area? So we have to know what's going on and see what's really what, because some of you Latinos and Blacks that are all excited because you think this is, this is dope, all this new, you know what? It's not for you. Okay. And it's not just for Black and Latinos. And I'm talking about even white folks here in the city of Yonkers, longtime residents. You over there on the east side, people are starting to sell their homes over there. Where the hell you guys going? I see a lot of homes for sale now on the east side. Is it like a white flight? Right? Because you have to understand that a lot of people now are going to have to move over to the east side when there's nowhere really to live or nowhere affordable over by the waterfront. Right? And then they're going to build how many more studios? Did he say 20 more studios? Let's listen to the mayor and we'll talk about it.
All about Yonkers. You are all about the people of Yonkers. And with that said, if the people of Yonkers say, we need you, 3 more years, Mayor, 4 more years to finish, what would you tell? Since you are all about Yonkers, I know that you have the votes. We all can count. We all can count. And if by popular demand, we want you, we believe in your vision, and we believe that we need Mayor Mike Spano for 1 more term to finish the vision. Would you take it and say, well, guys, because you ask, I will do it?
I don't see it the way you see it. I'd have to first see that there's this popular demand to come back out. I think that I think people want a good mayor, and they have yet to see that arise yet. Mayors kind of, I think mayors don't just pop up. They arise from the ashes, they really do. And I think that I think that we will see through the process a number of individuals who are going to run or want to be mayor, and there will be, and we'll see who comes from that process. I don't. It's almost unfair for me to say, well, if the public really wanted me, would they, would I take it? I think it would be me sending a signal. It would be me sending a signal saying, I want to run for fourth term.
Mayor, the signal has been sent. You already said you don't see it, but if you see it, who knows? So if you guys are happy with Mayor Mike Spano,
well, let me know.
want him for another term in Yonkers to finish with his vision, make sure you find a way to let him know. And I'm sure that I don't need to tell you how.
So let me know. Do you guys want to see a fourth term Mike Spano mayor again for the fourth time? Comment. Everyone comment. All right, because people are watching my show. Believe it or not, it's not about arrogance, because I don't care how many people watch it. I don't make a penny. I don't. But I know that they're watching up in Albany. That's a fact. I won't go into more details because I can't just yet. Again, I'm always going to respect what my sources say, but they're watching. They know about Freddie Vasquez up in Albany. That's right. So some of you guys better get your act together, because some of you are embarrassing them and they don't like it. And it's going to be incredible next year, folks. I'm telling you, it's going to be incredible, right? So he's saying that the people want a good mayor and that no one has yet to show themselves. No good mayor, no potential, candidate has really come forward. So to me, that's an indication that, well, people want a good mayor. No one's come forward yet that, would be that person. And if the people want a good mayor and then they want me again, I'm going to run again. That's basically what that he's saying there. Okay. And Ruros is all pushing him because he gets a lot of advertising money for the city to do exactly what he's doing here. Right. So, no, the mayor did not approve. She approved it. I'm not sure what's that. You guys may be having conversations amongst yourselves. Yes, absolutely. She voted no against affordable housing when she originally campaigned, and she was all about affordable housing. Right, Tasha Diaz. She's always about the people. I'm all about my constituents, and I fight for the people of the 3rd District. So then why are you always out of the 3rd District with a shovel, with a hard hat, some flip-flops and fur next to rich developers? You're helping welcome the luxury rate apartments that are pushing the people that you represent out. I mean, hello. I mean, do I got it wrong? I don't know. I could. Public servants, they forgot their constituency or betray them. 1000%. Crack it open, Freddie. I'm trying to. And I need you guys helping. You guys have been helping me. And man, am I getting some good information. A lot of sources. It's incredible. Things are going to happen next year. I'm telling you. What vision? Is this guy insane from the Yonkers Voice? He's a paid puppet as well. That's his job. And everyone ignores the fact that he pled guilty to sexual misconduct with a minor. That's the charge. That's the charge right there that he pled guilty. Sexual misconduct with a minor. He pled down. He took a plea. Right? And that's why you don't see him on the sex register thing. He's an effing line sacker-ish. Yeah. What a kisser, ain't he? Only ones happy are his friends and family. And, that's the problem. And that's why I speak out. Folks, I'm here for you. So, sometimes I get a little discouraged. Some people are negative towards me, and I wonder, am I doing the right thing? And then I have to remind myself that these individuals are getting some benefit. And it saddens me because a lot of times the people that are negative towards me look like me. And I don't think you get it. I don't think my people understand what's really happening. And so we've been used to crumbs for so long that we like go hard for someone that throws us crumbs against our own kind even. And that's got to change, all right? That's got to change. We don't want crumbs. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, we all deserve equal share. It needs to be fair, okay? We need to start with this education system. That's number one. Number one to me. Number one. Time to go. We know we need fresh blood. That's what people are saying. So I don't know if it's going to be up to the people. I think that they're going to have to put it to the council. That's the only way they're going to get it passed. Interesting interviewer and platform, isn't it? You like it? I'd vote for a bagel over. Wow, really? He's not a bad guy. I met him, man. He's a pretty good guy. Why won't the mayor come on your show? Well, I mean, I've asked him. I'll be honest, recently I haven't really been pushing. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, but I may see if I'll get him on. But a lot of people don't want to come on because they just, concerned what I might say and where I might go with it. The Spanos are brilliant criminals. They are feeling out the public and getting ahead of elimination of term limits. Imagine how great Yonkers would be if they were not self-serving. It's too late. They dishonored their father and all the hard work he did to build an empire. Ooh, they might not take that too kindly, but August 29th, reform me. There's a meeting. That's right. August 29th, 2022. I believe it's up in the Nodine Hill Community Center over there, or Prescott. They're going to talk about all this stuff, folks. It's very important that you attend. You are doing the right thing. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. Thank you. We want good candidates that are not going to be bullied, harassed, threatened, challenged every step of the way. The Democratic Party does not make it easy to run. Dirty politics is a turnoff, so no one comes forward. That's right. And that's why you're right. You're absolutely right. We need strong candidates that are not scared, that are not going to back down, and that are not looking to benefit themselves, that are truly looking to go in there and see, what could we do to make this place better for all? Let's slow down these developments. They're bringing in way too much people. Folks, we're not Manhattan. We're not the Bronx. We're not capable of holding that amount of people. Look at the roads. The roads are the worst they've ever been. And is Con Edison going to ever fix the roads that they just left on all beat up along Sawmill River Road? You see how horrible Sawmill River Road is? As you get to Ashburton, and between Ashburton and Palmer or Lockwood. And Con Edison did all that. And they just left it like that. Like, what's going on? How did they just get away with that stuff? Anyway, let's move on.
I'm sure that our audience is bright enough, smart enough to find a way to communicate your wishes. But, Mayor, you are still a young man. If another mayorship in Yonkers is not the route you decide to go, what would be the other venue?
That's a great question. I toyed with a lot of different races. I toyed with running for governor at one point. I toyed with running for Senate. I toyed with running for Congress. And each and every one of them would have required me to leave my position of mayor early. I did not want to do that. I wanted to finish this position strong and right to the end. I want to make sure that I don't send a signal out there to the people and the good, fine people that work here at City Hall that I'm here part-time and that we can coax. We have a lot of work to do, and we are here until December 31st, 23. And so I'm going to just continue. You asked me a question. I went off on a tangent.
That's all right.
But I'm going to just work hard to the end, and then I'm going to make a decision. The next logical seat, to answer your question, sorry, about what I'm going to do next. The next logical seat would be a run for county executive.
County executive, some people are saying that that's a ploy. He said he toyed with the idea, running for governor, Congress. There was the whole thing that he possibly might run against Jamal Bowman. Now he's opened up the committee for county executive, but it's the fourth term. It's the fourth term. I know it. Again, no one's told me that for sure, but, I put two and two together. I usually get four, so I think that he's going to run the mayor. And so, again, it's up to the people. Now, if the Yonkers City Council, right, does vote to eliminate terms, what is the recourse if people in the city do not want that? What will you do? What will you do? What will you do, Yonkers? Because you can do something about it. You don't have to, accept that. You can.
Should we move up to a county level? Pay lots of money in taxes and have the question, but we ask some.
Talk about the roads.
Now, this question comes from Robert Garcia. What does he, the mayor, plan to do about our roads? We pay lots of money in taxes and have to constantly repair our vehicles because of the conditions of our roads that are terrible.
We put an enormous amount of money, capital money, into the budget each and every year for repaving of our roadways. And we probably put more money because, frankly, because of the city council has pushed for more money for repaving, more money than, I don't know, than I'm certain than at least the previous administration before us. Sometimes $8-9 million a year in repaving. Our roads are better than they've ever been. I will go that far.
Mayor, I know you didn't just say that. Mayor, now listen, I have to disagree with you, Mayor. I have to disagree with you on that one. I drive all around Yonkers, not all day long, but a lot of the part of the day. And I can tell you, I've been doing that for almost 10 years now. These are the worst conditions I've ever seen the roads in Yonkers. So when he said the best ever, yo, Mayor, come on. I mean, that's obvious. That was obvious. That was super obvious. I mean, in what, 2 months? Not even. I've had to replace 2 tires, and I really technically should replace the same tire for the 3rd time because I messed it up again. My rims, forget it. On the last car, horrible. But I heard that, and I just thank God I didn't have any water or anything in my mouth because I would have spit it out. that was funny.
But we're an urban center. There's a lot of abuse to our roads, and so we're striving to always make them better. We also have something to consider, which a lot of people don't realize, is the fact that 7 of our roads are not our roads. The Yonkers Avenue, McLean Avenue, Broadway, Wilburton Avenue, Central Avenue. They're called state arterials, so they're state roads. And so a lot of people look at the conditions of some of these roads. Tuckahoe Road is a county road.
So, and I've heard this before because I've called up the city about the conditions of the roads on Central Avenue, the potholes, horrible, especially when you're going under the overpath over there near Roosevelt. And it gets a little dark, so sometimes you can't see the pothole. And so it's horrible. The roads are horrible, Mayor. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And so here's the thing. They'll tell you, well, that's not our road. That's a state road, or that's a county road. Well, it runs through Yonkers, and the Yonkers residents are the ones that are damaging their vehicles on them. So if we are not the ones, the city is not responsible for fixing that road, can you at least be responsible for advocating to whoever it is responsible to fix the road? What about going down to Getty Square and going to see Nader? Say, hey, Nader, that's a state road over there. We need that fixed, right? Or going over to who else? Pretlow, or who else represents us at the state? Shelley Mayer. Who else? Andrew Stewart Cousins. We need the roads in Yonkers. They're horrible. Con Edison is ripping them up, and they're not even putting them back the way they were. They're making them worse than they were before, actually, right? And they don't care. There's plates. There's all kinds of mess. And I have a friend actually whose son fell recently because of some, uneven construction, the way they left it there, and had to get, about 6-7 stitches on his chin. And it's an 8-year-old boy, 9-year-old boy, right? So that's messed up. The people don't care. It's the luxury developments. They got the best roads. They got all these amenities. They got the best views because they're taking all the views, right? Imagine what that 25-story building is going to do on Hudson Street, especially for those that live at 66 Main. You once had a view of the city, maybe even looking down into New York City. Now you're going to face a building.
Good job.
All that money you guys are paying for there. I want to move on a little bit.
Better as time goes on, but I really believe that we've been much better than we've ever been before.
So guys, you heard it. Okay, many of us make the complaints, but we need to be also part of the solution. So if you see something, don't assume that somebody else already called. Make that call.
Yo, be quiet, man, because I always do that. I got a fire hydrant fixed. I got freaking sidewalks and whole parts of town cleaned up, Rubros. Shut up, man. Moving on.
That's not the only road that needs revision. We see lots of new buildings, and we're all happy that those investors are coming to Yonkers. But the people of Yonkers are leaving Yonkers because it becomes very difficult to afford one of those apartments. The rent is going up. Things are getting to be so expensive. So many people are saying, yes, the mayor is doing a good job incentivizing people to come and invest. But what is he doing for the people of Yonkers to remain in Yonkers? population?
That is a very good question, and it's a very fair question too. Because on one hand, we want to develop these parcels of property we have in the water's edge. They're very valuable pieces of property, and when you can bring people in, it's more bodies, it's more revenues, it's more people shopping, it's more people who need to use the local businesses. I mean, there's a total upside to it. But the downside is, what happens? Well, once the neighborhood starts to turn, things start to improve, and you start to have these investments, then you also see the cost of living in our neighborhoods go up. And we're always trying to find and strike a balance. How can we, and get these investments, but at the same time, keep costs affordable? And so, so that's why, let's go back to the Municipal Housing Authority. We have 2,000 units of municipal housing in and about Southwest Yonkers. We rebuilt every last one of them. We made sure that the amenities that the people are getting on the waterfront, air conditioning, dishwashers, new floors, new windows, right? Rooftop amenities at times, that we made sure that the people who have been here, have been to Yonkers forever, got those amenities. At the same time, because we don't want anybody, especially someone who's been here forever, to feel that they are a second-class citizen. We have, working with the city council, created a 10% local ordinance, right? And so, and what is that local ordinance? Well, that 10% means to the developers, when you come and when you build housing, right, you have to build for the city.
All right, so I want to stop it real quick there. First, he says that, it's a delicate balance. It's a difficult balance, right? Because you want to bring in investments and you want to bring in more people who are going to utilize the local businesses, bring more money into the community, right? But when you do that, when you, beautify or improve the area, of course, the cost of living is going to go up. And that does make sense. Absolutely. However, the problem is, and I would love to speak to you about this, Mayor, and have an actual meeting, and we don't have to do it on my show, that the jobs that are being created by these developments going up are not being given to local labor. So they're not even having an opportunity to make the money so they can live in these luxury market rate apartments that are going up. They're not getting the jobs. Right. And then the few jobs that they are offering, like Lionsgate, they're paying $15 an hour if you can get it. Then you have to be fully vaccinated. Right. And then so you're bringing people from Manhattan and you're bringing people from Brooklyn. They work in Manhattan. They work in Brooklyn. Right. And so some of the people are not even having their kids come into the public schools, even if they have kids, because they're building a lot of studio 1 and 2 bedrooms. So they're not really looking for families. It looks like it's a lot of young professionals that are going to be coming in here, right? It's not really family oriented. A lot of these developments, they're like, like college dorms almost. They got these rooftop lounges, pool parties and workouts, and hey, and partying and getting drunk. That's what it seems like. So you're not going to really see families, right? So these people are going to utilize all of the resources, utilities here in the city of Yonkers, yet they're not paying into the taxes really, because they don't have the property taxes. They're not paying that. The developers are getting tax breaks. Right. And on top of that, the people that are working to build them are not from Yonkers. So really, where's the money? What money is coming into Yonkers? And if you're getting rid of the local businesses to replace them with like Whole Foods and, Starbucks, then the local businesses who won't be here anymore are not going to benefit. They're already strong arming a lot of the businesses to sell their properties. They have to. Otherwise, the building department is going to come and find a bunch of reasons why they can no longer operate or even have to now do their entire building over, as one business owner was told, if he wanted to stay in the area and continue to do business. But who's going to do that? So they're just going to sell. And they're going to put studios all up from Leakin Watts all the way up to where Woodworth is. It's going to be all studios. I'm talking about movie studios. Joe Cotter's buying up everything. Joe Cotter, the guy who owns the land that Lionsgate sits on and owns a lot of Woodworth and Warburton, also bought Leakin Watts. I hear for the sum of $55 million. But here's something interesting. the area is not zoned for the studios that they want to build there. So why did he go and spend so much money when technically he can't build what he's looking to build? Well, they're probably going to change the zoning laws because that's what's been happening. And that is why there was a ceremony yesterday for the chairman. After 50 something years, they said it's time for you to go. They removed 2 other individuals prior to that without even notifying them. And the reason they removed them is because they would not approve the 25-story building that they're going to put on Hudson Street, that 44 Hudson, where recently you saw Lakeisha Collins Bellamy and Tasha Diaz at the ceremonial breaking ground event. They wouldn't approve that. So they got rid of them. They replaced a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Landsman and Vincent, forget his last name. And they replaced him with Gene Tickle and Anthony Jalaj. Now, Gene Tickle is the granddaughter of an investor, a man that owned the Grayston on Warburton, the apartment building, all the way down, like as if you're going to Hastings. It's a building where Michael Sabatino, the $120,000 director of constituent services for the city of Yonkers, recently purchased an apartment there. She owns that, and her family does. Anthony Jalaj is the son of an investor, a man who owns 470 Neppahan, a building once owned by the city, but now they lease it, or they lease space in that building. The ATF also leases space. The Yonkers Industrial Development Agency leases space there. The Yonkers Fire Department leases space there. So why did they sell it? And why did they put a 21-year-old to replace 2 seasoned zoning board members instead of getting someone who is more experienced? Because they're not looking for people to have any real input. They're looking for people to simply approve these developments. So Gene Tickle, Anthony Jalaj, a 21-year-old who also has a job in the mayor's office, making $20,000 a year, while his brother makes another $64,000 a year as a kennel aide at the Yonkers Animal Shelter, are going to approve everything. They're just puppets. And now that the chairman of the zoning board has retired, guess who's going to become the chairperson? Wilson Kimbo. That's right. So they've pretty much taken over the zoning board, and that was the plan. Wilson Kimball got into the zoning board. She then put pressure and got the 2 gentlemen removed without notifying them. She then worked closely with the former chairman who just retired to the point where he thought she was a nice woman. But she was being shady all along, working to get him out so she can jump into that role. She is currently the president and CEO of Macy, but is also on the board of the Zoning Board of Appeals. She's going to be the next chairperson. It's all developers. All developers. She doesn't have a good history. She was once investigated by the Attorney General of the state of New York when she was caught misappropriating funds with her husband, Mr. President of the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, James Kavanaugh. Folks, it's a crazy tangled web. Individuals who have been accused and even convicted of corruption still operate with impunity. The people are not the main concern. The concern is the direction they want Yonkers to head and is already heading in. The majority of the people here in the city of Yonkers do not want this. Unfortunately, too many people can't speak out. And so they're left to either accept it or decide that it's time to move out. But not me. I'm a fighter. I will fight to the end. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I see an opportunity here for the people of Yonkers to take back politics. And if you're with me, I'm with you. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. I'll talk more about the rest of the interview tomorrow. But it's obvious that he's going to run for a 4th term. We'll see what happens, folks. But again, it's up to you. the people of the city, the voters, to come out and vote and demand that, people are accountable, that our elected officials are accountable. We have to hold them accountable. There's too much funny business going on. I mean, how many employees of the city were arrested for serious crimes? And now you got that dude that worked for the mayor who crashed driving drunk, going the wrong way on Central Avenue, injuring an individual. And what happens? Nothing. It's covered up. And he goes up to work for Kathy Hochul, making $200,000 a year. You hear that, Governor Hochul? You're not starting off good if those are the people that you're hiring around you. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the comments. A lot of comments. Wow, I think it's the most comments I've ever had. All the public officials should be held accountable for betraying their constituency. They are elected to represent the best interests of the people, not their pockets. Absolutely, but unfortunately, it's been their pockets that have been their most concern. I mean, think about it. Why is it that so many city employees and elected officials have multiple homes? So many people have homes in Florida, Rhode Island, upstate. People who work for the YPS, multiple homes, taking yearly vacations to Hawaii. Does anyone know anything about the scandal where staff opened up shop inside the Yonkers public schools and started selling things to the kids? People have been operating here in the manner that they want with disregard to anyone and anything. It's been a free-for-all. And unless we get out and vote next year and vote for someone who truly wants to represent the people, it will only continue. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Again, folks, thank you for joining me. Thank you for commenting. Stop taxing the homeowner, Spano. Please do not forget their campaign contributions. That's right. Committee for Better Yonkers. And all those developers and you attorneys out there, the Smith Bus Jacobs and all that, you guys are just as guilty. Denise Gallego, you guilty. Dennis Gallego, you guilty. You can't hide. And retirement's not going to save you like it's not going to save Fauci. Pay to play. Bravo. Thank you. The third term was in the dark and the vote was at midnight. Well, make sure you folks let me know, because if it's at midnight, I'm going to get up and I'm going to jump into my car and I'm going to head over to City Hall and I'm going to record it live for you guys. All right. Nice, Hochul. Well, thank you, folks. I appreciate it. That seems to be all the comments, a lot of new folks commenting. I've gotten a lot more followers. And again, the reason why I seek more followers and viewers is to simply continue to spread the message. We want to spread it as wide as possible, right? From sea to shining sea. We must let everyone know what's going on here in the city of Yonkers. And I'm Freddie Vasquez. Listen, you guys support me. I'm in all the way. Right? I'll run for mayor. You guys support me, I'll run for mayor. Promise you. I'll even give up my salary. I'll have my attorney draw up a contract and say that I will do that. Right? I will give up my salary. I'll donate it. I'll go in there, open up everything, show transparency to the people of Yonkers. Hell, I'll be on my podcast. I'll still do the podcast and say, look, folks, look at what's been going on. This is what's going on. This is what we need to do. Right? Because at the end of the day, this city belongs to the people. Doesn't belong to any one individual, and it makes me sick in a way to see people take advantage of other people and enrich themselves that way. I've never liked that. Never, because I never made a dollar taking away from someone else. Never. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Good night, folks. There goes my thing. I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Interview with the mayor. Basement Politics is the only place you're going to get it real, raw, unbiased, and unfiltered. You want the truth? Can you handle it? I got the truth. I'm Freddie Vasquez. Shout out to all of my sources. And the reason why I get so much information is because people are tired. People are truly tired of it. They're tired. And they finally found an outlet to let out their frustration. Please do run for mayor. I will. If I feel like I have enough support, not only like the mayor said, and Rue Rose, if the people want it. No, honestly, I've always wondered what it'd be like to have someone in office that truly cares about the people, that wants to do right by the people, because I, for a very long time, have believed that many elected officials are very self-serving. I mean, it's just the personality type, right? Individuals who make it to the top, especially in politics, are self-serving, agenda-driven, many times greedy, selfish individual. And that's why they get to those positions, especially if you know what politics is all about. It is so cutthroat, right? It's so cutthroat, right? But you got to be somebody that's, ready for that. And not a lot of people who, want to do good, like my wife, like she would get eaten up in politics, like, because she's so nice and naive at times, So many people who are kind, who want to give instead of receive, they just can't, cut it in politics because of the nastiness, the cutthroatness. Nice people just get eaten alive in politics. So like I always told my wife, I'm a wolf that loves the sheep, and I'm here to protect the sheep. And I'm not trying to insult nobody. It's just something I say to her because, I can get like those folks, right? And that's why, I've been fighting them since day one. I'm not scared. Let's go. And I'm relentless. Shit, I ain't supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be dead, in jail, or homeless. Have a good night, folks.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
What is that sweet spot? Like I said, political games that are being played. But we're going to leave it where it is. Let's vote on this. Let's get it popping. Like I said, political games that are being played. You could have...
In another one, Mr. Rubo lied to me. And I don't vote for the person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Like I said, political games that are being played. You could have...
We are the real McCoy. An optical illusion that people are following him. The truth is...
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Are we? That's a lot of stars. Are we? That's a lot of stars. José que hablan español. That's a lot of stars. José que hablan español. The hopes that the people will follow them. It's not working. Look at the numbers on their channel. They got 6 views, they got 7 views, they got 3 views. And even the 6 views that they have, it's all the same guy.
Wins. Fatality.
They have done here in Yonkers. They have embedded themselves and have become a product of this book. So thank you. And thank you, Harry. He was one of the ones that supported me from day one. So I want to say thank you. I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some of the butter chicken. So thank you. I just want to thank the Indian community for all of the contributions they have done here in Yonkers. They have embedded themselves and have become a product of this book. So thank you. And thank you, Harry. He was one of the ones that supported me from day one. So I want to say thank you. I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want some of the butter chicken.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
She's greedy and she wants some of that butter chicken. Well, I got some butter chicken for you, girl. You're gonna have a whole bucket of it when you're at home watching me on TV. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. Be blessed. And as always, I love you, Yonkers.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
No!